Welcome to our short session on neck tension relief. I'm so glad that you're here to join me today and help manage neck tension, whether that's something that you have as a result of stress, or maybe I'm just going to put it out there, poor posture, no judgment. Let's get started right away. So I'm just going to make sure I have everything I need. This is going to be a seated posture only class. But if for whatever reason you need to expend some energy, you can always do this from a standing posture if that is something that feels good to you, is accessible to you. So those are some options. Grab your water and let's take care of the neck and shoulders. So getting started, I just want you to notice for a moment how you're sitting and the natural way you would just sit here. And I want you to be aware of how are you holding your head? How are you holding your head? Are you like me, and do you maybe have a little bit of a forward chin posture? So one thing that we can do pretty much immediately to alleviate some of the stress and tension that we put on our shoulders and our neck is to correct the posture of how we hold our heads. You've probably even heard of text neck. And this is like where we're always down in this hunched over posture, beep boop, reading our cell phone. So really important thing you can do for yourself. Hard to remember. So I'll give you a lot of little cues throughout our session today to take care of that posture. And one thing we can do right away are chin tucks. Okay, so I'm coming to sit up nice and tall, and I'm going to take maybe 2 fingers to my chin, or I can do this without my hand too. And I'm just going to pull my chin back, no pressure in my fingers, just a little guide, and then release. So I'm pulling that head back as if I'm trying to create a double chin, not that I want you to see me that way, and release. You could do this without the fingers, so I'm just pulling that chin back and releasing and just noticing how this feels to the back of my head. Taking a couple more of these chin tucks, and you can do this seated against a wall, standing against a wall, and sort of feel the shoulders resting on the wall and that length. And you can also do it lying down with a little rolled up towel under the base of the skull and pushing the head back into that rolled up towel. So a couple more of those. And I'm already starting to feel things open up. So let's just rinse the shoulders a bit, up, back, and down. Rinsing the shoulders up, back, and down. And we're going to just try to stay aware of this, where the chin ends up wandering to during the rest of the session. So I'm going to reach up and just take the temperature of my upper shoulders here, my neck and shoulders. And this area is like basically the trapezius muscle. It's a big, big muscle that is it has a lot of coverage in the back of the body, but it gets really, really tight. So my physical therapist tells me a really gross way to take the temperature of my soft tissue here. He wants it to feel like it's raw meat, not cooked. And I can tell you, my friends, that when I dig around in there, it feels pretty cooked to me. I don't know about you. So just seeing what one can notice here about the soft tissue. And maybe you want to sort of dig around in there a little bit. Now, another part of the neck has 26 muscles. So that's a lot of things we've got to cover today. But as somebody who has suffered from neck tension that ends up becoming migraine, I've learned a lot of really great little stretches and tips to take care of my neck. And I do these almost every day. And one of my favorites, total game changer for me, is releasing the suboccipital muscles. So if you can either visualize this or you can reach back with your hands and go to the base of the skull, that ridge at the base of the skull, the place where the head meets the neck. And in whatever way, just feeling there. There are sets of 4 muscles, the suboccipital muscles. And I'm just going to move my hands along the ridge, out to the sides and down a little bit. And I'm putting very, very gentle pressure. Are there any little areas there that feel like they're tight or tender? You might find that area and stay with the fingers or with whatever works for you, and maybe even a little bit away from that area that feels super tender. And take some breaths and allow yourself to relax into your own little finger release or hand release. And you might take a couple breaths in this way and then just let it go. So the suboccipital release is great if you can do it for yourself. Not all of us can do it, and it can also create more tension just by holding the arms up. So you can ask your friend to do this for you, or if you have a great physical therapist like I do, he'll just do a light tractioning and get in there, and he'll find the spot for me and help me release that. So those suboccipital muscles are really important because they can get overtired as a result of that poor posture. So I want to take care of these poor little babies underneath the base of my skull. If my suboccipital muscles are really tight, it can even lead to dizziness, right? Because they're compressing the areas of blood flow. So really important. Next up, I want to just lubricate. I'm going to think about the bony structures. So I'm going to take some very tiny circles, my whole head. And I'm going to start to circle my whole head in whatever direction feels good. If you start to hear pops and cracks and snaps, I want you to make the circles smaller. And this is something we learned from our Tai Chi master, Rami. And we sat there and we did this circular motion forever, it felt like. But I have to tell you, it was transformational for me. And you can imagine what's happening here is we're lubricating the bony structures by releasing synovial fluid, which can help care for cartilage, can help move waste away from the soft tissue. So circling in one direction, I've got my feet or my seat on the earth, and I might come back the other direction. And I'm continuing to remember to breathe. Just exploring. And then coming back to neutral. And I'm going to share with you a little bit of a pinch massage for another really important muscle. It's the sternocleidomastoid muscle, and that's a mouthful to say. We just call it the SCM. And I want you to feel your neck for a moment and see if you can feel these muscles. So when I turn my head to the side, you can probably even see this muscle. It attaches at the base of the skull and it goes all the way down to the collarbone. This is the SCM muscle, and it can often get pretty tight as well. It's the largest muscle in the neck, and sometimes it almost feels like it's like a tendon or something ropey, right? So that's my SCM muscle, and it also supports the joint of the jaw, right? So if you're somebody who has jaw issues, TMJ, that kind of thing. Keeping this muscle nice and loose can be very, very helpful. So the SCM, I just wanted you to locate it. So we've located it, and now I'm just going to pinch it, little pinch massage, right? Maybe it's both hands, right? If that would feel good, Bev. Just locating it, very, very gentle little pinch massage. And then I'll share with you my favorite SCM stretch. Okay, so let's go ahead and start by taking the right hand or wrist onto the left collarbone. See if you can reach that, Joan. And I'm just a little gentle movement downward. I'm going to tilt my right ear to my right shoulder, and then I'm going to lift my chin up to the left a little bit. So I'm feeling, hopefully, the SCM being stretched. Make any modifications. It's a little bit, maybe you want to put that other hand on top to just give a little extra. So we're just gentle pressure down on the collarbone and lifting up and away from the hands. And then I'm going to release to center and try the other side. So left hand flushing downward on the right collarbone. Maybe I bring my other hand on top. You've got it, Jane. Tilting away from the hands and then lifting the chin up and to the right. So there's a lot of little instructions here. You've got it, Roxanne. Breathing. And then releasing from there. Okay, so just to review, we've done some chin tucks. Remember about the chin tucks? We've done a little massage, a suboccipital release. We've done little tiny circles. We did our SCM pinch massage and our SCM stretch. And now I want to get back to these big, gigantic things I carry around, my trapezius muscle. So all I'm going to do, we do this almost every time we meet, is tilt my head from side to side. And I might even close my eyes. And I'm going to add the layer of the breath here. Right? So let's go ahead and maybe it's inhale to center, exhale, tilt, and you might hold. Breathing in, center. Exhale, tilt. Inhale, center. Exhale, tilt. Maybe you hold. Now, if you're someone who cares for chronic neck issues and any of the things that we are doing cause discomfort or pain, do not do them. I know I have to say that. I know there are a lot of us who care for neck issues, so I don't want to make things worse because I don't know what it is exactly you have going on. So this will stretch a lot of the muscles. The SCM muscle, this trapezius muscle, it's a really good one. And then I'm going to come back and I can add to this. I can make this a little bit more challenging. I could see how it would feel to just bring both arms behind my back. And so I've already made, kind of opened the chest a little bit, which can get really tight and rounded as a result of that posture issue. And now when I move my head from side to side with nice, soft, relaxed shoulders, I can feel that elongation of those muscles. Don't forget to breathe. All right. And, if you're doing this on your own, you might do, a whole minute of that one thing. That can really go a long way. For our time's sake here, I want to show you a strengthening exercise. It's an isometric strengthening exercise. And I thought when my PT gave this to me, I'm like, no, I need to stretch. But actually, the strengthening really helps, especially if we start to get sort of hypermobile in the neck due to the wrong muscles being contracted. So I'm going to start by bringing my hands behind the base of my skull or my wrists or whatever's available. And I'm just going to push my head back into my hands and release that effort. If this isn't accessible for you, you can just tuck the chin. So it's the same thing we were doing, but there's a little bit of resistance. So there's a little bit of resistance as I push towards my head with my hands or wrists, and then I'm releasing that effort. And I might do like a total of 5. Yeah, making any changes, taking a breather if you need it. That's good, Lois. And then I'll release my hands down for a moment. Roll those shoulders up, back, and down. So isometrically, I can push my head back. And I can also do it from side to side. So I can rest whatever's available here on my cheekbones. And I'm pushing very lightly into my right hand. My right hand is pushing and I'm resisting the force. And then I'm moving to the left. And don't forget, really important, that you have that good head neck posture here. So my neck is right over my spine. And you might not even be able to see any movement. That's good. And then we'll release and take another set of shoulder rolls. So sometimes the things that help me involve muscles that are already tight and might actually, need another stretch. So I'm already really good at pushing my head forward. But if you wanted to, you could always strengthen the front muscles in the neck by taking one or both hands just lightly to the forehead. And I'm not going to go to anywhere near the effort, 100% effort. I'm only going to push like 10%. And then I'm going to release. And I might do just a couple of those. And then I'm going back to just a little bit of that circular motion. So kind of resetting with a little circular motion. Maybe the circles are a little bit bigger. All right. Now it's all connected, right? It's not just the neck. It's not just the jaw. It's not just the shoulders. It's all connected. So let's bring the right arm out to the right. We do this in a lot of our classes. I'm just going to stretch my wrist a little bit up and down. And then I'll leave my hand lifted and tilt my right ear away from the shoulder. Little palm circles here. Finding your breath. Palm moving downward. Little by little. And we're going to come back to that trapezius stretch again. So I'm bringing my arm behind my back. And I'm tilting my head away from it. And then I'll additionally spin my chin down. So you might feel a pretty big stretch here. The trapezius muscle, maybe a little bit of the SCM muscle. The key here is that I'm softening. I'm not forcing this. And I'm letting kind of gravity and breath do the work. Right? So sometimes we just need time, the tincture of time. And then I'm going to come back up. And that's sometimes hard for me. I like to move through things pretty quickly. So left arm out to the left. I'm just going to wag the hand up and down a few times. Hello, over to my neighbors on my left side of me. Have you shoveled your driveway yet? And then I'm going to tilt my right ear to my right shoulder and circle the palm. As I mentioned earlier, we're having a bit of a snow day here in the northeast of the USA. Socked in is, I believe, what they call it. When you're ready, you can bring that hand behind the back, spin the chin down, And again, just letting time, breath, gravity do the work. Good. And then I'm releasing back up. And let's go ahead and address. And we've done a lot of the muscles in the neck, some of the shoulders. The back, the upper back, does a lot of when we're in this sort of slumped position, we tend to these muscles in the upper back weaken. So I want to strengthen the muscles that keep me in my good upright posture. So I'm going to bring my arms out to the sides in a little cactus shape. And then I'm going to bring my elbows back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and release to neutral. Breathing in and exhale, squeeze. You've got it, Stephen. And we're going to do about 5 of these. So I'm squeezing those shoulder blades and strengthening the upper back. And I'm also stretching the pec muscles, the front of the chest, which can get really, really tight. So, like I said, everything connected. I'm going to give myself a hug. One arm on top, doesn't matter which. And I'll just tuck my chin and take a couple of breaths into the upper back. And then I'm opening wide. I'm going to do another set of my cactus squeezes. So whatever feels good for you in the hands, I'm going to bring those elbows back, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then release to just a neutral place. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. See if you can infuse this with the breath. Beautiful. 3 more. All right. And then maybe you're already ready for that hug. Opposite arm on top, tuck the chin. Couple of easy breaths. And then we're releasing the hands down into the lap. And just for a moment, with your seat on the chair and your nice tall posture, just noticing the flow of energy. And then I might just turn my head from side to side and notice how things are feeling. And then I'm going to do one more stretch for the scalene muscles. And these muscles are deep within the neck. There are three sets of them, scalene muscles. And with the scalene muscles, they can get really tight. And this is a problem because they form this little triangle through which nerves pass. And when they are tight, they can compress the nerves and cause issues. So if you're familiar with like thoracic outlet syndrome or any other issues where you can feel pain radiating down the arm, that could be a result of this area being tight, be a result of a nerve being pinched in your neck. So we're going to take the hands over the breastbone. This is a scalene muscle stretch. And it's not that unlike the SCM stretch we just did, but it's a little bit lower. And I'm just going to lift my chin up and away from the right side of my body. So lifting my chin up and away and holding here. Again, I still have my good posture with my chin tucked a little bit, and I'm coming back. And I'm going to tilt to the other side, lift the chin up and away. So I can feel the muscles in this left side underneath, like a deeper muscle stretch there. And I might do that one more time on either side. So these scalene muscles attach actually to the ribs, the front of the ribs, the first and second ribs. So they go down pretty deep, and that's what I'm doing here, moving to the other side when I hold my hands over my breastbone. That puts a little pressure there on the rib and helps kind of stretch those muscles. All right. And then we'll just do one more little shoulder up, back, and down rinse. And I want to close with one final exercise. It's humming. So our bee's breath, which can also sort of relax the muscles in the neck. And above and beyond that, it can help tone the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is associated with our stress response. So we want it to be nice and toned so we can respond to stress more easily. One way we can tone the vagus nerve is actually through deep breathing. And the other is through this humming exercise. But just so you have a little understanding of, this is the longest nerve in our bodies. It starts in the brain. It has branches in the ear and into the voice box. And it goes all the way down through the diaphragm into the gut and ends at the colon. It's quite a long nerve. Vagus means wandering. So it wanders, and it is just involved in so much of our nervous system. So the humming is one way we can help our nervous system and help manage stress. So it's also just really a part of the neck. So I wanted to include it in today's practice. So optional, you can take the hands and hold them over the throat, or you can just hold space around your throat with the eyes closed. All right, if this feels like it's going to add tension to the muscles we just relaxed, you can skip holding the throat. So very, very soft hold. And with my humming, I'm going to create a humming sound, nice and easy, and just feel the vibration. Imagining that humming traveling the whole vagus nerve. Maybe you want to bring the hands down and do a few more with me. And one last one together as a community. And I'm thanking you so much for your practice today, friends. I hope you can leave our mini session today with a little bit of relief in the neck and the shoulders. And if there's one thing you remember from today, I hope it's the posture of that chin. That's going to be a huge game changer for a lot of us. So thank you, and I hope to see you again soon. Until then, take exquisite care of yourself. Namaste.